कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। क्व सूर्यः प्रभवो वंशः क्व चाल्पविषया मतिः तितीर्षो दुस्तरं मोहात् उडुपेनास्मि सागरम्. This is a verse which most Sanskrit students will be able to appreciate. Mahakavi Kalidasa, in his beautiful poem called as Raghu Vamsham, states, Kva Surya Prabhavo Vamshaha. What great legacy, what great lineage for those people who come in the lineage or the clan of Surya. Kva Surya Prabhavo Vamshaha. Kvachalpa Vishaya Matihi. And where am I? I have the least of the intellect in this world. Mahakavi Kalidasa is stating. So he says, Kvachalpa Vishaya Matihi. Titirsho Dustaram Mohad Udupenasmi Sagaram. How he beautifully brings the greatness of this dynasty. He says, let's say a person is standing by the shores of a large beach. He says, I will be able to cover the entire surface area of the beach, of the seas in front of me, with this little stick with me. I shall sit on that stick and shall swim across the entire expanse of the vast sea. People will laugh at such a person who makes that claim. Similarly, Kalidasa states, like a person with a small stick, Udupenasmi, with the Udupa, he says, I shall cover the entire sea. That audacity in him will be laughed at by scholars. Similarly, if I say, with the help of my little intellect, I will be able to cover the vast expanse and achievements of the king in the sea of Ikshvaku Kulam or Surya Kulam, it is similar. So he says, out of humility, the achievements and the greatness of this dynasty or legacy is so high that even Kalidasa cannot describe. Well, let us see what Dasharatha has to do. Dasharatha performed the Ashwamedha Yagyam. There is a question on the Ashwamedha Yagyam which pops up in the minds of even Astikas. How could one sacrifice horses? Is sacrificing animals for our sake, for the goodness of our family, right? What mistake have they done? I am in complete agreement with the question because we as primitive mortals and human beings do not have the right to kill other animals for the sake of our good. Nevertheless, there have been acharyas like Adi Shankara and Ramanuja and later Swami Vedanta Deshika who have said that animals don't have to be sacrificed and have to be eaten day in and day out. But there are certain yajnas where the animals are treated with the mantras of the Vedas. The animal is sacrificed and that particular Atma reaches Swargam is what they believe in. In whichever case, whether this justification is convincing to us or not, we must understand that such yajnas where sacrifices of animals happen are not predominant now. It may have happened in the past. They could have been justified in the past, but today it is not happening. Since I am describing the Ramayana written by Valmiki and not what I have written, I have to conform to what he has said. So Ashwamedha Yagyam was performed. it is said in those shlokas how the golden needles were brought, and in the mid of the night those golden needles have to draw certain shapes on the body of the horse, and next to the horse throughout the night the principal queen has to sleep. When I say sleep, that is a yajna vedika, that's a yajna vatika, that is a place which is very sacrosanct. At one place the horse is placed, in the same vatika the queen has to sleep the entire night. All this is mentioned in Srimad Ramayanam. In case some of you feel, no sir, we don't agree with it, you don't have to agree with it. In Sanatana Dharma, there is no compulsion that only if you agree you will be granted moksham. If you disagree, you will be beheaded. Nothing of this is stated. So you are free to disagree. Now, Putra Kama Ishti. Sir, Ashwamedham is okay. Putra Kama Ishti. Why is it not Putri Kama Ishti? Though Putra denotes the son, Putri in general denotes the daughter. Remember, Putri asks for a few more seconds than Putra. Putra. Putri. So, when I have to elongate that particular pronunciation, it takes 1 or 2 seconds more. So, the grammarian in Sanskritam states that when two objects belong to the same community, category, see, be it the man or the woman, they belong to the human category, then whichever is the word that takes lesser number of time, less duration to recite, then the second word which takes more time will be a subset of the first word. Remember, when we are talking superset, subset, universal set, it is with respect to words, not with respect to people. It doesn't mean that the woman is a subset of the man is the superset. No, the word putra, putri. So, putri takes little extra time. So, the word putra in general can actually denote both the putra, the son, and the putri, daughter. That is why Putra Kama Ishti was performed by Dasharatha, and he desired sons, he got sons. The same Putra Kama Ishti was performed by Janaka Maharaja later, and he had daughter. Later, the same Putra Kama Ishti was performed by Akasha Raja, and he obtained Mahalakshmi as his daughter called Padmavati. Thereby, we need to understand that Putra Kama Ishti, Putri Kama Ishti are just words. We should not get into an unnecessary debate here. He performed Putra Kama Ishti. Towards the end of the Putra Kama Ishti, what happened? Let us park that for some time. So he performed Putra Kama Ishti. Now we should be transported to Karya Vaikuntham. Our Acharyas in Bharatadesham have opined that there are 2 levels of the Lord, Paramātmā. One is Vaikuntham, which is called as Paramapadam. The second is Karya Vaikuntham. The first, which is called as Paramapadam or Vaikuntham, Sri Vaikuntham, even Vedas describe Tat Vishnoho Paramam Padagum Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. So that Paramapadam or Vaikuntham is valid and it entertains only such devotees who have performed an upayam, either Bhakti Yoga, which is also called by other names like sadhana, upasana. So, a person who has performed bhakti yoga or sharanagati, which is called nyasa yoga. These are all upayams. These are all ways to reach the Paramatma. If a jivatma has performed one of the two, either bhakti yoga or sharanagati, which is nyasa yoga, then such people, when the Jivatma exits the material body, travel the path of light, which is called Archiradi Margam. And through Archiradi Margam, they reach Vaikuntham. Once they get inside Vaikuntham, there is no coming back, there is no returning back. Nasapunaravartate, nasapunaravartate. So, this particular concept is called as Paramapadam. So, in such a beautiful abode, even celestials, Devas, who have not performed Sharanagati or Bhakti cannot enter. Whereas, there is another abode of the Lord called as Kshirabdi or Karya Vaikuntham. Karya Vaikuntham is where Narada, Sanat Kumaras and many other rishis who may have not performed any upayam for moksham, they can also go and come back. So here it is mentioned of Karya Vaikuntham. Now, the celestials, the Devas, with Narada as their leader, Brahma along, reach the milky waves of Ksherabdi to get the grace of the Lord. The Lord then appears and says, you all seem to be worried. First, I wish to remove your fear. Some fear, some worry is niggling you all. As the Lord for all of you, I should remove that fear first. Bhayam is fear. Abhayam, don't worry, I am there. So how do you say that I am there? Don't worry, I am there. So this is called as Abhaya Mudra. In many temples, the Lord will be sporting this particular mudra. It's called Abhaya Mudra. So the Lord says, don't worry, I am there. This is called Abhaya Pradhanam. He gives fearlessness to his devotees. He assures them of asylum. So based on this concept, a great polymath of the 13th century called Vedanta Deshika uses Ramayanam primarily as his source text and has come up with another great work called as Abhaya Pradhana Saram, the essence of granting Abhayam to his or her devotees. This has been mentioned. So the Lord comes and assures the celestials, Prayah Prapadane Pumsam Paunav Punyam Nivarayan Hasta Shriranga Bharturmam Avyad Abhayamudritaha. So when you go to Srirangam, the temple town in the south of India in Tamil Nadu near Tiruchirappalli, the Lord will be reclining with his head like this, with a hand like this. So Vedanta Deshika says, like how you granted Abhaya Pradhanam to the celestials in those days, today you are granting Abhaya Pradhanam to devotees like me. So this said, the Lord then advised the celestials, first I wish to remove your fear. Now you tell me what is causing you that fear. That is when the celestials mention of the presence of Ravana, his brother, his sons, and many others who have been tormenting the human race. So they all request that the Lord showers mercy on them, removes the fear that has been tormenting them. The Lord thinks for a few minutes and then grants them Abhaya Pradhanam. Now, the Lord then asks, what is the boon that Ravana has sought, which is giving him so much of unwarranted power? Gandharva Deva Surato Yaksharakshasya Yasthata Sarpakim Narabhutebhyaha Name Bhuyat Parabhavaha. So Ravana had a very clear boon from Brahmadeva. He said, I should not be killed by the Devas, the Asuras, the Rakshasas, the Kinnaras, the Kimpurushas, the Gandharvas. In that list, he includes snakes and everybody except two races. One is Nara, human race. The second is Va-Nara, the monkey race. Why has he excluded these two? Because he had so much of arrogance, thinking these humans are such an utter waste. They do not have the valor to fight against anybody. Leave me, fight against anybody. Monkeys are the progenitors of such races. They are also like humans. They can also never fight. So I have the arrogance that nobody can kill me. That is why I am not even mentioning these humans and monkeys. So excluding these two categories, he had sought the boon. Upon listening to this particular incident narrated by Brahma, the Lord said, do not worry. I shall be born as the human. The Devas should be born as my assistants and should assist me in annihilating this power. Do you all agree? He asked. That is when the Devas nodded yes, affirmative yes, and said, do not worry, we shall follow suit and we shall be born. Now, who were they born as? One question. Second, how did the Lord show his presence in Dasharatha's yajna? What I am mentioning happened in Karya Vaikuntham. What was earlier mentioned was happening in Ayodhya. How do we mingle the both? How do we bring the both together? That we have to see in the next episode. Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.